another example of geekness is Mad Balls from the 80s, which my favourite bit of this is the Oculus Orbis, who's just an eyeball, skull face is a skull, and crackhead. A head with an exposed brain. This mad ball was later renamed Bash Brain due to the unpleasant connotations of crack. A crackhead is a slang term for drug user. But it wasn't the worst of it. I often remember the old 80s theme tune, Mad Balls. Do you make your balls sad? Do you make your balls glad? Or do you make your balls mad? Mad balls, ooh, mad balls. You don't remember that? No, just made it up. Wasn't the worst of them, there was also scary bouncing ugly balls. That we have there, Marcus Chewy Candy. So on to the lair of the geek, I suppose. Geeks hang out in places like Forbidden Planet, and this place in Dublin called the Secret Book and Record Shop, whose secretness is devalued somewhat by the big yellow sign saying Secret Book and Record Shop. There's also this little bat cave in rural Ireland that a certain someone grew up in. We see here the signed photographs of Dean Stockwell saying thanks, and Michelle Nichols from Star Trek. And here is another developed sense of geekness when you start to dress up as characters. Here's a certain Mr. Lorcan McGrane, circa 1994, dressed up as Judge Dredd. Mostly made out of cardboard, and if you note here, a bathroom chain for the chain. Now you've never really lived until you've been caught by a woman in Tesco's with a flower pot on your head, because you're testing out various sizes of flower pot to make into a Judge Dredd costume. And it's even worse when another fucking Judge Dredd turns up, and he's got a slightly better costume. As we note here, my bathroom chain, and he's got a garden chain, and he followed me around the whole night, and he said, "This is just like we're drinking Sinti Stout and we're in Emerald Isle." Oh. I moved on to the Batman outfit. As you can see, an uncanny representation of Batman. As some sort of robot-headed Batman. And obviously Batman loves a little drink of beer. I've just got a little example there, but just how uncanny the representation is there. It's almost like looking into a mirror. And here's another representation of Batman. As you can see, my artistic skills are uncanny in representing Batman. I hope that this doesn't affect your image of Batman, and that this wouldn't become the quintessential quintessential view of Batman in your brains. Moving on to She-Hulk. Now, the kind of third level of geekness is when you go beyond just dressing up as them and start creating works of amateur's outsider art. As you see from my She-Hulk series of paintings. They get worse, that's the only problem. Now, the main thing about these is to remember that there's no sexual subtext whatsoever. And obviously not painted by someone who's very, very sexually, I don't know what the word is, unfulfilled, maybe. It just keeps getting worse. That's the thing the problem is, like, you know? But we see there's just no subtext whatsoever. There's no subtext at all. I can't even look at them. Well, I made them. Like, they're the worst ones. Like, you know, not only do you paint something, like you've seen it because you're painting it, you're looking at it, and then you put it up on the screen and you go, Jesus Christ, who painted that? That's horrific. On now to my analysis, really, of masturbation in Spider-Man. Now, the first time we see Peter Parker in Spider-Man, his hand is knocking on the door there, he's trying to get in the bus. And then we also see a slightly pervy scene where he's trying to take a photograph of Mary Jane. And then we see certain things erupting out of his little hand, and certain things erupting out of his wrist there. And then a big pile of goo comes out and knocks over Dr. Pepper's can and breaks up the family unit, as you see above there. And Aunt May's there going, "What are you doing in there?" And he's there going, like, "Just leave me alone, I'm just practicing. I'm practicing my superpowers." And we see him there, the practicing he does with his superpowers. And another example, something must have spilled in there, inside of Peter's room. It's seeping out from underneath his door. If you bring me a mop, oh dear, as soon as I touched it, look what happened, it got all sticky. As you see, no sexual subtext whatsoever. It's especially in this moment where he's kind of getting very gooey there, and he's made an accident. He's made an accident over She-Hulk. Sorry, I don't know how that did. Moving on to X-Men. We've got Ian McKellen in a special machine that creates a sort of white glow that kind of sprays over all the characters. As you see him getting more and more worked up here. And his white spray envelops Senator Robert Kelly, played by Bruce Davidson. There we go. And then we move on to poor old Batman. And a lovely image of Wonder Woman standing on his head. Which I've done that and find that he's actually quite liking it. He's got, I think, a little bit of a smile there with Wonder Woman standing on his head. And, you know, obviously in comics there's no sexual subtext. And, you know, people think I'm bad and I'm a geek, but I don't go around dressing up my dog as Wonder Woman. It's quite bad. There's other fantasy franchise-based dog outfits are available. It's like white stuff everywhere. Like, every time I look at this, like this is like a particularly bad one where all the male characters in the DC universe are throwing snowballs at Wonder Woman and she's sending them off. And I'll leave you now with a joke. That it's sort of this is like a Christmas card, but often as a lonely geek that I am, it's very difficult for me to find, you know, people to send me cards and stuff. So I found myself a card and it just had the picture of Spider-Man on the front. On the back, it just had a label that said blank inside. And it's very rare that a card really expresses your metaphysical angst like that. Thank you very much. Lorcan McGrane. Thank you.